the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Boo.
I'm going to take this whole tree.
This old tree. I'm going to take this fucking old pieces of tree and I'm going to stick it in my ass crack.
Are you talking like the inception of toilet paper?
Or just in general. We go to the store, we buy some shredded up trees, and we jam them in our ass.
There's a lot of that stuff that, like, if you let your mind just kind of wander for a bit, you're like,
that's fucking weird.
How many iterations did that go through before someone went, okay, that was a bad idea? Like,
Yeah.
you know, there is no toilet paper, so you just start wiping your ass with leaves. It's like, oh, okay. Like the first person that's like goes into the forest and wipes their ass with like a handful of poison oak leaves. Yeah. It's just like, oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Like swollen and.
Well, like the whole process of making paper, like here's some sawdust, you know. This is now I'm gonna fucking
like
use
medieval
this. This
days,
works really good.
The wad of like hay. Like if only we could flatten this.
Yeah, we need to beat it to a pulp.
Yeah, and smoosh.
Literally.
Yeah. You know what I've noticed too is the fucking. You can tell they're getting greedy now. These toilet paper because that one ply is. I have seen Japanese planers not be able to put something that thin.
I have watched 4K shows through one of those plies.
Like holy shit! Okay, now you guys are milking it because wow.
And I swear to God, is it just me, or are the rolls of toilet paper slightly narrower now?
Yeah, I think they're narrower, and they're like, how many microns do we cut this?
Right.
We cut it in half.
Right.
Like tissue paper.
Yeah.
I unrolled a chunk, a couple, the other day.
Yeah.
And it was like sparsed hole. It was a thinned out fucking hole in it. And I went, what is this? Like, are we really doing this now?
No, I think the trees are protesting.
Yeah. Fuck.
We don't want to do this anymore.
No, we're done. We're done. You're going to just start recycling.
You're just going to flush me. You're going to put shit all over me, flush me, and I'm end up in the wastewater treatment plant. That's it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. This is not what I signed up for.
Now you're getting bark.
I mean, if you want to build a house, I mean, I'm down with that. But don't wipe your ass on me.
I know Venus was saying it too. She's like, toilet paper, even though we can get it readily now, is not the same as it is.
All right, so
wafer thin.
I got to add, what brand do you buy? What brand?
I don't know what it is off the top. I want to say, I don't know.
We
after that intro, I am not going to put some toilet paper on blast that I don't 100% know.
I don't have my light on.
You don't?
No.
Well, you fucked up. And while you do that,
we went through a couple of different brands. While I do this, see this? I'm gonna the camera.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh God, there it is.
We went through a couple of different brands, and then all of a sudden, it's like we were forced because of the pandemic to buy whatever was available, which at the time was Charmin. And
well, yeah,
Charmin we always kind of just saw as like the toilet clogger toilet paper.
Because it's so heavy.
Because it's kind of heavy duty.
Oh, yeah.
But damn, you don't have to use very much of that. So we have switched to Charmin at our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Venus usually does. I don't know what their carrying cost was. She's usually buying in bulk. But I think I think we're still working through probably some of our transition stuff where we had bought a couple extra bundles from a Costco, a Sam's Club kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we're working through the municipality bathroom stall shit where you're like, I don't like going in here, not because it's unclean, but because it's going to take half a birch tree to wipe my ass.
Right.
Or I'm going to bust through that tissue paper and put a knuckle deep in the butthole.
You're going to have to take something to scrape your fingernails.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. You get fuck. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, in those cases, like the quadrupling up of paper or more is not uncommon.
I think the pre-COVID one-plies were like, that's the.
No, they weren't.
I'm okay.
No, they're
I think
not.
Yeah, they were fine. The 2-ply was preferred if you were going to go to like brand to brand to brand to brand. For me, it was like whatever. Now the 1-ply is like half a ply.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's one sheet.
Well, like I said, we were using like, I don't know, Angel Soft, and then we tried a couple others just because like what you could only get what you could get, right? So it's like, well, I mean, I guess I'll do Northern Quilted or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we ended up in the Charmin camp, and it was like, I don't have to use very much of this at all.
No.
You know?
Well, we double dip too with like the wet wipes.
No pun intended.
Right. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. So when we were conserving, boom, boom, you get a wet wipe in there, and then you chase it dry with a half of whatever normal is your consumption.
Brutally honest.
Fuck yeah.
Depiction of bathroom time with Foo.
Right. I mean, then there's the whole. Like, I don't know how warm your house is, but I literally go when I sit on the toilet seat and it's fucking cold.
Stuff tightens up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we talked about this.
No. There were tweets too. Like it was doing the Bones dog thing. Bones, no bones day.
Now, a bidet, would you do that?
I would do that.
If it was warm water? Because that's the real problem.
Oh, yeah. If it was as cold as my toilet seat, absolutely not. I want no...
Shit, stuff would be slamming shut.
Yeah. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't...
Shooting ice cubes
I would.
ass.
Oh, yeah. Bidet? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want the project of running nickel metal hydride batteries into the bathroom or plugging an outlet and running an extension cord.
That's the problem is there no bathrooms, like like water closet as they call them, right?
Okay.
That's what they call the room with the toilet is the water closet.
Okay, yeah.
So like in your master bathroom, you have the water closet, which is usually a small room with the toilet on itself.
Right.
Right. There's no outlets in there.
I'm pretty sure that's a code thing. Like because of the water.
Oh.
I thought.
Well, I mean, you can put a GFCI, I assume.
Right. I think the actual. I don't know.
Anyway,
yes, there's not typically. Yeah. So it's like, well, how Argonaut got a bidet? I'm curious where the power comes from. Is it battery?
Well, I mean, some of them aren't. If you have like a porcelain mounted bidet, but if you're retrofitting one to your toilet, typically it would be powered. I think.
Right.
Or especially if it's going to be warming.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember. God, this goes back probably. This is pressing 20-something years at this point, because it was the first couple times that. This is way more than 20 years, because the early on dating with Venus, her and her dad, like McCooney's was. Sushi, I'm a country guy, so sushi was like way outside my wheelhouse. But they were already well into enjoying and knowing quality sushi, hence McCooney's for us. And I can't remember, but they're Fair Oaks, Citrus Heights.
Okay.
Whatever their first location was. Yeah. Before they did the same thing they've done pretty much at any other location where they bought the office next. Oh,
yeah.
They had a bidet in there, and it was like, ooh, shit, wow, this is fancy. Warmed water. I'm like, okay. I went in there. I didn't even have to shit, but I was like, where else am I going to get to try this?
Yeah.
I stalled up, shut the door, dropped pants, and I'm like, well, if it does warm water, I'm going to find out real fast if it's not. And pleasant experience. I have no regrets. Now, I didn't shit. I was just like, I'm getting the asshole wet. It's going to be real clean.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Right. Yeah. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It had to be warm water. I already have a problem with the cold ass toilet seat. I want no part.
So some number of years ago, I bought one. Like, I think it was on
Really?
Woot. Yeah. We never put it in.
Oh.
Because I don't think it does any warming, and it was super cheap.
Yeah, no.
So I'm a little bit concerned about that, and I don't think my wife would really. She's not a bidet person.
Really?
Seemingly. She didn't seem too
not the kind of
keen on
cold
it.
spray that she's looking for.
No, that's the problem. Is the water? Our water here is really cold.
Right.
I mean, I would imagine if you're in Michigan right now, it's a lot colder.
Right.
But the water is pretty cold, and so, like, I don't even want to barely wash my hands in the cold water, let alone have it sprayed in my anus.
Right.
You know?
Like, puckered everything back up?
Yeah.
Like what? Well,
yeah, that seems counter.
Do you still have it? And you've just
it's in the garage. It's just never been
migrating as a pile somewhere.
It's somewhere in the garage, still in its box. Never
just put it in Melanie and Chandler's one.
Oh
and
boy!
Just see what he does with it.
Dad, like a monkey fucking a football.
Why would you put a drinking fountain in the toilet? Like, way to go, son. Way to go.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. So on that note,
hey, welcome to Sad Dad's Club podcast, episode 178.
We got Foo over there,
Jim over there, and our assholes are clean.
As far as we know.
Well, yeah, we say it every.
Yeah, well, you should wash them.
Yeah, I mean, you should.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, spend some time there.
So
it's all right.
I only have a couple things.
Yeah.
But there'll be things that
will take up time.
We'll see. You gave me homework.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah.
I did not get through everything.
Okay.
I got to... You gave me homework. The homework was Band of Brothers.
Yes.
The HBO 2001 special.
I'm so curious to hear what you have to say so far.
We got... Venus watched it with me.
Oh, nice. Good.
We got through... I believe we are on 6 or 7.
Okay, and I forget how many there are.
I don't know 100%
9
either.
Or 10 or something.
And I did buy it off Amazon because I figured on your recommendation, if it was going to be that good, I wanted to make sure that the artists were right. So it's a goodwill thing.
Sure.
Not that it was required, but anyway. So I bought it.
Okay.
And we sat down and we watched 1, 2, I think, in one sitting, and then 3, 4, like Saturday and Sunday. I think we binged like a couple in a shot.
Okay.
Very, very good.
I told you.
If you are someone that, because it's not a beauty war series, it is a realistic war series.
Yeah.
And even though you describe, I feel like you described it really well, I still hadn't really grasped that the telling of the stories was actually accompanied with and was pretty tied to actual stories of an actual easy company representing the airborne.
Yeah.
So seeing that in actual real time was like, okay.
Yeah.
So this isn't writers completely fabricating some stuff. Now I'm sure there's
taken some
right. There's some liberties in there, I'm sure. So I'm not saying it's a straight up documentary,
right?
But it is tied to real people with anecdotes or impressions and stories of the time of those people in the location.
Right.
It does kind of. I think you had to really get to the second or third episode before it really starts to punch you with this is war.
Yes.
Where
it's a little bit of a slow start on that first show.
And we're talking like if you're a Game of Thrones person, I'm drawing a blank on another realistic live action series, but there's gore. There is blood. These are bombs. These are bullets. These are explosions, and there are injuries. There are serious injuries.
Yeah.
what I thought was, it's absolutely fantastic. I love all the actors. What was super interesting is, because this is 2001,
Mm-hmm.
the like the actors that are really high profile Hollywood stars now were B tier actors. Fassbender, James McAvoy. So you had fucking Magneto and Professor X when they were nobody, essentially playing these random dudes. A bunch of Tonight Show. Fallon's in there as a fucking Jeep driver.
Yeah.
Stupendous.
Yeah.
I cannot give enough credit to the actors, the writers, the cinematography. There is a number of, like Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List, you're not watching it to be entertained. I think you're almost watching it to be informed and educated about a topic that is outside of a documentary, as close as you can get to trying to understand what these people went through in that moment.
Right.
Absolutely.
And gives you insight into, like, almost like you were there. That's how it feels.
Sure. I mean, they didn't candy coat much of anything.
No.
Like, you know, that is probably relative.
Yeah.
I mean, they would tell you, you know. There were a lot of parallels to, as a grain of salt, the leadership structures. I could not help but identify the way that leadership structures and people who follow people and the type of charisma and personalities that people will gravitate to in a combat type of thing paralleled Ingress. The type of Schwimmer, Sobel, their original CO guy, and the type of I bark orders and you take these orders and da 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 da. But when the
shit
hits the fan, none of the people, none of his directs had confidence in him.
Right.
And just by proxy, the person that was trusted, you know, you even if you're not looking for it, there was this is a good person. This person I can trust with things. This person I know will have my back in a situation where
supplemental leadership.
Right. I need it.
Right.
And then as things ebb and flow, you can see that person, even though they don't know it, that's a leader. Like the people.
Yeah, they emerge.
You just doing you.
Yeah.
That's leadership without training, kind of a thing. It's like, I'm looking out for my guys. My people are the most important because these are, you know, I care about these people. They're not family, but they become family.
Yeah.
You know, I have to trust these people.
And there's a double-edged sword there, because it's like that person's a leader, but also they know the ins and outs of the warfare part of it, like you know, the like
tactic and strategies,
the tactical stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the last episode we got to was their and if you haven't watched it, I apologize, but it's
from 2001.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you missed a boat like
go watch it.
They're taking of Foy, the town of Foy, and they've got the one CO, Dix, I can't remember, that always walks off. He's always on a walk, or I got to go talk to regiment. I got to make a phone call. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he is up against the haystack.
He's never around.
Losing his shit, and everything is going to shit, and he doesn't know what to do. And this motherfucker, the leader, taps another guy. I need you to get in there and do what I say. This guy walks in, you're relieved, and like starts barking orders. Like, here's what I see, here's what's going on. I need you here, you here, you here. And the way that the military is structured, when you get orders, you take them. It was like, okay, we have a new guy. bang, bang, bang. We're going to do this, this, this. This is the plan. That's all I'm looking for. The guys followed it.
That's how you get the respect as a leader.
Right.
Is you lead those guys. They understand that you understand what's happening, and they know the type of person you are.
Right.
And you earn their respect, and then they are willing to do just about anything for you.
And it's right. And that's not to say that they don't make mistakes. Good leaders don't make mistakes. I think that's the other part of the thing. It's like understanding a mistake that you make and owning it.
Mm-hmm.
There's still, like we said last week, when I had a bike stolen, bought a new one. There's no, and gave it back. Like I fucked up.
Yeah.
This has to come out of my ass. I got to make this right.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders that make mistakes and that acknowledge them, you can hope you don't put someone's life in danger. Obviously, that's bad.
The stakes there were really high.
Right. And then, like I said too, the double-edged sword is that it's quite depressing to see that the military structure is such that in the face of glaring lack of confidence in a leader, that they still let it ride,
Mm-hmm.
right? They tell you that Wahlberg's character goes up to the CEO and says, no one has confidence in this guy.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to die if you leave this guy in thing. And the structure and whatever, I'm not going to, politics is the bad word, but the formalities of the military prevent you get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Put someone in. Lives had to be lost and further put on the line before someone made a command decision to get something that everybody knew was bad solved. Like, it would be nice if humans didn't have to die in order to prove a point. Like, how many humans, it's a very powerful series, very powerful. Like, the Piper watched a couple. She wasn't here for a lot of the weekend, but she did stop and watch a couple. I think she probably caught maybe one whole one and parts of a couple. Mankind
pretty awful.
is terrible.
Yeah.
Like piles of bodies from war. Like, why?
Yeah.
This sucks. We were, a lot of times we were trying to figure out the way that they were telling the story and the amount of camera shots, certain people. We were sure that James McAvoy's character was going to be one that was one of the replacements that would like ride out the long haul, because they kept slow shotting the Latino gentleman that came with him as like the new replacements party. They kept lingering camera shots on him, and we're both of us are like, he's gonna die,
right?
He's gonna die. And then you get that one barn where everything's going to shit, and McAvoy takes a shrapnel to the dome, and he's dead. And we went, well,
damn.
Well, we fucked that one. Right. Yeah. And as far as I know, I think the Latino fella, long haul. He was.
Some of it's just like, luck, man.
Yeah.
It's some of that stuff's just luck. I mean, it's amazing.
Very powerful series.
Yeah.
I please take the time. It's not for the light of stomach for sure.
Yeah.
There is blood and gore and unhappiness. But it is a worthwhile watch to see a real portrayal of some of those events. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it or like it.
Yeah,
it's a well worth watching series. I think.
Yeah,
if you're into that at all whatsoever.
I don't know if I could watch it a second time.
Oh, really? I've seen it.
Like it's like Saving. Yeah. It was like we said last week. Yeah. The Saving Private Ryan. I would probably watch that again with Piper and Xander, or so a total of 3 more times. But I have no need. It's not entertaining to me. But I would watch it as like part of a lesson education for the kids. Like this is how bad it was. Like this is a movie. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about it, just a movie, so their time constraint is much greater.
Oh yeah,
how much stuff they put in there. But this is a series, fairly long series, and then this is series 1 of 2. So the next series is the Pacific, which is also worth watching.
Oh,
not quite as
really?
Yeah, not quite as good as Band of Brothers, but very. I mean, it's the same folks essentially, not the same characters. But it's the same folks, and instead of being in the European theater, they're in the Pacific.
Okay.
It's very, very good. It's Band of Brothers is top notch, and this is like one step below, I think. But it's the same people, same producers, and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of the scenes, wherever they filmed it, like the sets. The sets were. I'm sure it was not a lot of green screen. There was a lot of towns. I don't know where. I would presume they filmed a lot of it in Europe in some locations because the stone walls and cobbles. Do you know?
I actually saw. I forget. Is it Keratin or something? One of the shows where there's like incoming fire from like tanks, and they're hitting trees, and the trees are like above the guys.
Yeah.
That was in a set, and it had like a green screen in the background for, like they had built a set with trees the trees were getting blown up.
Oh, okay.
So there is some setting going on, but it's not distinguishable to me whether or not it's a set or not. They've done such a good job. It's kind of like Mandalorian, from that regard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just can't tell. I don't know. I mean, I have to like frame by frame or something.
Really,
yeah,
really well done.
Yeah. So I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Really glad you like it. I'm glad I didn't steer you wrong, because for me that's one of those. Like I said, man, it'll come on TV. The series will come on TV, and I will stop flipping channels, and I will watch it until my wife makes me turn it off, because she doesn't like.
How do you watch that? Like, it's almost, I'm going to say better, but it like out of sequence. How does like a TV station play only a?
I think they usually do like the series,
like a marathon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good stuff. Go see it if you haven't seen it already.
HBO, I think, still plays it, because when I select it on the Fire Stick, it's like, where do you want to watch this? HBO Max or Amazon, where I bought it? I probably didn't have to buy it if it was going to let me, if I'd have looked for it.
Do you have HBO?
Yes, because
you could have watched it on HBO.
Probably, but I didn't know that. I didn't know it was still playing. I figured I was going to have to get it. I didn't know it wasn't like an on-demand thing via HBO.
Oh, that's a big. That's one of their big series that they did. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of it, to be honest. That was a big. It was a big deal. Big dang deal.
I probably did, but like I said last week, that era, I was way busy, not watching much TV at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so. It's so. Fascinating, the whole thought that these guys went through this, and how many folks lost limbs and died, and it blows my mind.
There was I think it was maybe the start of the second episode, when they had just landed, and there's one of the characters is like walking down this path, and they've got 10, 15 German POWs.
Yes.
And he walks past, and I think one of the Germans like asked
for a light
a light, and he was speaking English. And the US guy and the German guy like had a conversation about both being from Oregon.
Yeah.
And it was like, where are you from? And why are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the Aryan way, or it's the duty of true Aryans to come back home and
to the motherland
and fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. But they're sitting there having like what they're portraying as a conversation between two people from Oregon talking about back home.
Yeah.
Well, did you know?
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
what is happening here?
Yeah.
Only, and
then later on,
later on,
see ya.
you want a cigarette?
I got a light.
Blah, 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 blah.
Did you see I don't know how far you are, the show that's called Crossroads?
No.
Did you watch that one yet? Okay. Let me know when you see
Maybe. I don't know.
that one, fascinating. I mean, there was, I watched, even pretty recently, actually, in the last few weeks, I think it was a documentary about the crew going in for training. It was like a Band of Brothers training thing that all the actors went through.
Okay.
And now I lost my train of thought. But they all had to go to do this training with like a sergeant, and they had to go, and it was a camaraderie building thing for them to all like be around each other, and they were only allowed to be called by the name that they were given for the show, the person that they were.
I gotcha.
They were portraying, which was really interesting. They just did it really well, I think, from that standpoint. And there was a reason that I brought that
Crossroads. Did you get to Crossroads yet? I said no.
Yeah.
And you said,
yeah, just
sad dad.
Yeah.
Fleeting minds.
I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got anything?
I mean, I bought a monitor.
Yes.
It only took me forever to find it.
Because you've been telecommuting now for
a couple of years now.
Right.
And
thanks, COVID.
Yeah, and the monitor I had for my computer was just like 1920 by 1080, and I wanted some more screen real estate.
Right.
And refresh rate is important, but like whatever, it doesn't really bug me that much.
Right.
But then I found out my machine can only do 60 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I bought a UHD monitor that's 32 inches, and I can do UHD at 60, and it is something to behold. Holy cow, it came today. I could not wait to hook it up. It actually, my arm works with it, which it is adjusted as far out as it will go to hold that thing in place.
Yeah.
And
it shouldn't be really heavy, should it? I mean, but at 32 inches.
I mean, the arm that I have wasn't the most expensive arm you could get.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to hold it at all, but it does. But so damn, I was watching like Marcus Brownlee.
Oh yeah.
On 4K on YouTube on that thing, and it just looks gorgeous. I mean,
yeah,
the amount of detail. I mean, it's impressive. It's TV quality display for my computer,
and it's. I'm jealous because 30 from a person that does like the video part.
Yeah.
The 27-inch on the iMac. I like that
size. Yes.
But it feels like when I'm doing stuff on my PC and gaming, the 27 is like still in a wonky place for me on the PC and gaming. It's like I don't necessarily need.
So you have 27-inch displays on your PC, but they're 1920 by 1080.
Yes.
Okay. So and they're 27s?
No, they're just a hair under the iMac is, but the other three I think are just a hair. They're closer to 24, 25.
Okay.
So they're a little bit, and that was just like a comfort thing. Like the distance that I'm at from those monitors, it's like if they were any bigger, I'm in a lot pricier territory.
Yeah.
But if you were to wind back when I bought those new, so like we had discussed, when I bought those new, my video card and the not refrigerator Xbox weren't really doing 4K anyway.
Yeah.
So my highest need and quality coming out of my video card that was already pumping two monitors was give me a real high quality 1080p at a fast millisecond transfer rate.
Right.
So that way gaming was really nice.
So are they 120 hertz or something? Or are they?
I don't think they are. The one gaming monitor I have is, but the two that I use for normal PC shit were not.
Okay.
And in hindsight, a lot of the stuff with like the Xbox, now that it's the new fancy one, I probably should have gotten like a 4K one, but I didn't because I was concerned with capture shit, like capture card stuff. Like if I ever wanted to stream anything, then and you couldn't really do 4K something. I can't remember. Oh, and because I use a switch box, because I use that as a second head for my work shit, it was like, well, nothing's ever going to really work right here anyway. So I went.
You're in a tough spot there.
Yeah, 1080p and 60 on the twos and 120 for the gaming one, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
But when I tinker around with the iMac one, there is it's noticeably easier on my eyes, and I love the real estate. So I can only imagine if I had 32 inches times
of UHD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do I really care about that speed anymore? I would like to, because what does Data's have?
I think his are all 60. He has a 32, but it is a curved monitor. I got a
Does
flat
he
one.
game on that one?
I think that is just his Mac display.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'd
probably
be curious
not really.
to see what he games on.
He games. I'm not sure what those monitors are. I don't know off the top of my head.
I think yeah.
But it was one of those things. It was like I wanted a new display. I wanted at least 2 HDMI inputs. So this one has a what's the sort of square one with an angle on the side? So it's got 2 HDMIs and is it DVI? No, it's not DVI-D. It's a display port. So it's got a display port and 2 HDMIs. And so I was like, that's what I want. And then it was 60 hertz, which is what my machine will do.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I mean, might as well get a 32. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then shoot, I can get a UHD one for $300. That's not terrible. And it's gorgeous. I mean, I'm blown away. I plugged it in and turned it on and kind of sat back and went, whoa. Like, wow.
We have a, it's the replacement of the thing that's sitting over here behind me. The one in the bedroom that only does black and white no matter how much. Anyway, I bought a Samsung 4K UHD for the bedroom as its replacement. And I think it might only be 32. I think the one we replaced was like a 42 or a 30. It was maybe high 30s, low 40s. But I went, I'm downsizing. We don't need this big of a TV in the bedroom. But yes, it's the first 4K TV we put in the house. And that's like watching that thing is like, wow, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's just different on the eyes. The way it like, oh, that's really clear and it feels smoother. And then I go out into the big TV, fucking yeah, it's huge, but 1080p.
Right.
Right. Wow, how much for that?
To be able to like have like a mail window that's open that I don't even really have to scroll through the messages. That's how much screen real estate there is.
Yeah.
Like the resolution is so high that it's crazy.
There you go.
How like you can just click and it's like pretty much all there, in one. You
Does
don't
your
have to do anything.
taskbar go the entire length of the thing?
So I put my dock on the side.
Oh, okay.
It already was from top to bottom, and now it's from top to bottom, but it doesn't like zoom out as big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the icons are bigger. They actually got bigger because it had more room.
You won't be able to see this. Let's help you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
fucking thanks.
The negative is because the resolution is so high that text is fairly small,
Yes.
Like the menu bars are tiny.
Right.
Some of the text in some of the things like web pages and things like that are
You're
small.
gonna start finding yourself like doing the squint and neck crane. Like, what do you?
Maybe.
What file?
I'll just have to get my readers. Well, the display is so big. It's just like, you almost feel like you're specifically moving in front of the space of that.
Yeah.
Where that window is.
What? What did you say? What is that?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what I wanted was just more space. I mean, for having windows like side by side and, being able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like file copying all kinds of things all the time between, like KiPRO media and like RAID and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually changed the display, the new display, to the same resolution as my old monitor. I was like, oh, it was shocking. Like, God,
Wow.
yeah, this is terrible. Like, oh man, I can't believe I was living with this.
This is for plebeians. We now has the is it that much real estate difference though?
It's huge. Yeah.
Does it make the text like for kindergartners? Like super big?
It's ginormous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the text gets really big.
Is there a middle of the road between the two?
Yeah, I think he gives you 5 options, so you can actually pick 5 options.
Just in case you start seeing.
Yeah, you can knock it down like one.
Yeah, okay, come back.
Yeah.
Hey, fuckers, I'm pressing on 50 here. Come on now.
I mean, if my eyes feel like I'm getting tired or whatever, I'll bump it down a notch.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean,
you have room to work with.
Yeah, and the display is just big itself, so it's like it almost doesn't fit in the area. I mean, if it was just any bigger, it wouldn't fit. It's that big.
I was gonna say because you're in a nook.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like 32. He's got that much space in there.
I mean, barely.
What's he putting out of the way?
But see, that's the thing. It was either work with the display I had and get another one that's like 1920 by 1080, and then 2 monitors,
2 heads.
Then it's just like that's not, because now I'm really taking up real estate, right?
Right.
So it's like just one big ass monitor, dude. I'm so far right now. I'm like giddy about it. Like I can't wait to dare I say it?
It's fucking huge.
Can't wait to go work on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but the other nice thing too is that I can use that for a display for testing stuff.
Right.
So video coming out of one of our boxes, I can plug into the other HDMI and look at video out of our stuff.
Have you played that game on it?
Okay.
With the little yarn guys? I bet that looks crazy.
Well, I mean, that's on a Switch. So like it's only 1920 by 1080 or whatever.
I thought it was I didn't realize it was on the Switch.
Yeah, so that's the source is the Switch.
Oh yeah, so it's not going to matter.
No. I mean, I could though.
Yes.
Run it through an FS4 and then back out
just to see.
And
now it's in 4K.
And it will up-res it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's oh man. If you can, do it.
Do it?
Yeah, just like Band of Brothers. If you can get a new monitor, do it.
So we had a between the two of us. I missed a story from last week.
Just between the two.
Between the two of us, we've both done stupid dad shit that resulted in injuries.
Dude, I didn't show this to you. Can you see?
Yeah, you sent me a picture.
Look at this knuckle and this knuckle. Can you see they're like purple?
Yeah. You did the business.
This is where I jacked it up, is right here. But this knuckle and this knuckle are purple too. Dude, that. Oh, I haven't had something like that.
And
happen.
that was instantaneous, right?
Yes.
So here's where I fucked up.
Okay, let's hear about it.
So this was 2 weeks. It goes back 2 weeks then at this point. So I was replacing the steps on the RV. They were the electrical zzz come out when you open the door. The motor was.
So they're motorized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motor was blown. I had to. Yeah. I had replacement, just analog steps that you just pulled manually, and so I've pulled out the motorized steps and I'm putting in the new ones, and I needed a set of brackets to mount the ingoing steps to the location where the older steps were.
Out of curiosity, the old steps and the new steps do not have the same hole patterns.
Correct.
Okay, so they're different.
They were different. Okay. So I had to come up with some brackets.
Now I got a question for you.
Okay, go.
We're gonna finish the story,
yeah.
But is it a thing? Would it have been worthwhile, just out of curiosity, knowing that you were going to replace those steps, to try and find a manual step set that mounts right up there without having to have a bracket? Because that's what I would have done. And I probably would have driven myself absolutely batty trying to find, like, I have this model, like, RV, this is the year, this is what it came with. But what I want to do is replace that with these. because I'm sure they probably had a manual set that came with that RV. It's like probably somebody bought one.
Mm-hmm.
I just want, you know what I mean?
So I put some time into it.
Okay, you did.
And because RVs seem like they're just kind of like different. I'm trying to think of another car that works that way. RVs tend to be like a twist based off of a certain manufacturer's products that they're putting into it. So not every cabinet has necessarily universal fit, or however the builder, there you go. However the builder of the RV decided to put their mounting holes for the products that they were putting into it might be unique to that specific builder.
So would that be unique because they were electric stairs versus manual stairs, or is that the reason for the difference?
It may have been more along we have these steps. When we build the RV, we're putting our mounting points here, as opposed to we're buying steps to the mounting place that we already have. So they kind of might have gone the other way.
Sure.
A lot of the steps that I looked for were all being sold as some fabrication may be required.
I see.
And knowing that I was hoping at the time was trying to just get things fixed and gone. I spent probably half a day after seeing enough of some fabrication may be required. I was like, okay, so now I'm just looking for a comfortable price point, and then buy.
Yeah, because I would imagine if you were trying to replace it with the thing,
right?
The price, especially considering they're electric, they have a motor and stuff,
right?
Maybe if you could just replace the motor, it wouldn't be that bad necessarily.
Right.
But
so I looked at that too, because my dad asked me the same question. He's like, "Why you just buy a new motor?"
Yeah,
but good question, Father. It was a lot like printers. It was like where the motor is essentially the toner. It was to find a new motor that was not going to be remanufactured and is this from somebody's scrapyard kind of a thing. You're essentially that's pressing on $200 for a motor that's remanufactured, and new electronic steps are $300. Well,
yeah,
and you're rolling the dice.
And then what's the cost of the manual steps?
They're roughly about half.
Half of
$150.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
And it's a manufacturer. It's as far as RVs go, they're roughly the same manufacturer. It's like the Hondas of steps for the RV platform. They make
the Napa Auto.
Yeah, they make the electronic steps, and they make manual pull-out steps. These just are manual, and most people have a variant of these steps. And then a variant of, are they mounting it from the side with an in-house made bracket, or are they made mounting points that accommodate the existing product?
Okay.
So.
All right. So, so sorry for that.
Yeah.
I'm just
fine.
curious.
Yeah, because my dad asked me the same shit.
Yeah.
So, good questions. So, I've got the steps off. I'm under and out of the RV, on my back, working on a car kind of a thing. And my dad stops by, and he's jawing at me, and it comes to the realization that, okay, so this is the fabrication part where I'm going to need. So I need some heavy-duty steel, not thin shit that's going to bend under the weight of a 100 to 300-pound person going up and down these stairs, blah, 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 blah. And so I need heavy steel. Where am I going to find it? I go to Home Depot and buy some square bar and cut up some stuff. Well, now I need all of the tools because I didn't have cutting discs. And so my dad, who did metal fabrication as his career throughout the bulk of his adult life, it was cool to have I have to fabricate a thing, and I've got just the fucking dude to help me.
Right.
And he is working through some of these ideas to find ways to cut. What we did is we sacrificed the metal, the thick industrial metal that was used for the electric steps, as the brackets. So the thick shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a way to cut
So you needed a plasma cutter.
Right. He's like, "Oh, you got?" I'm like, "Fucking Dad, if I don't." Oh, he asked me about the oxyacetylene torch. I'm like, "Dad, I wouldn't be fucking around with these cutoff wheels if I had." Anyway, no, Dad, I don't have we have no acetylene.
Did you bring one with you?
Right.
Then I don't have it.
He's like, "Well, you had that really nice router table." I'm fucking acetylene. I don't have it.
That's a wood router.
Yeah. So we're coming in the garage and we're trying to come up with these redneck ways to get a not flap disc, a cutting disc onto a drill, and we're struggling. Like, I'll get the angle. I'll go get discs later, Dad.
Yeah.
So we leave with good ideas. It was really cool. It was really fun to like fabricate something.
Mm-hmm.
I got my discs. I'm making these brackets. Sunday, I'm getting these things. I get it all hooked up. Solid. Really happy about it.
Works out.
Everything works out.
Awesome.
Monday, I'm like, man, I've got like this kink, like starting to come on in my neck. Like, what happened? What did I do? I didn't go to the gym Saturday, Sunday. Like, what's going on? And throughout the course of Monday, it's getting like progressively worse. I don't think it was a holiday, but I feel like Venus was like, I kept telling Venus, like, I'm trying to get ahead of this. I kept moving my shoulders to try and make sure that I didn't get like a full kink. Like, where did this come from?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Monday evening.
I know where it came from.
Yeah. Monday evening, this thing is like full on, just short of neck incapacitating.
Uh-huh.
And I can't turn. And it's absolutely bugging the shit out of me that I can't figure out. Oh, wait. The steps. I was going in and out of underneath the steps, like, oh, I can make it, and like just craning my neck. And at the time, hey, listen, I'm going to the gym, I'm running, I'm relatively fit, and I broke all of these muscle fibers in the gym the last couple weeks. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
But this repeated neck tilt craning of getting my head out and under repeated times of it was to the right hand side as I went under and back of the steps. I am just now today, almost a week later, finally like, oh, right turn, left turn, full 100% back to normal. That thing, listen, body. If I do something stupid, it would be nice if you would tell me in the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't
not wait till later.
Carry on. It's like going to the gym. I knew coming out of the gym on that first set of arm day, shit's going sideways.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, what was it, back in tricep day, and the not being able to, having to flip my fucking hat up on my, like I knew that was happening. My body let me run out the chain on doing this neck going in and out, in and out. I just worked on the Jeep. Everything is, I'm under there inverted. And my body went, hey, buddy.
Check this out.
Remember that thing you did on Sunday? And that was the funny thing is I was going to come into last week's show with the same really cool story about how I spent a Friday and a Saturday fabricating. It was like a feel-good, happy dad story. Only
it turned into a nightmare.
It got shit on. Absolutely shit on.
Nice.
By a neck taser. Just
it's funny because you're talking about this and I feel like you're pandering to me because I have a very solid, sadly, history of neck issues over my days. And most of it stems from sleeping funny. Like sleeping and then get up in the morning and then like, I don't feel quite right, but whatever, and then get in the shower and take a hot shower and get ready for school or work or whatever it is at the time. And then get out of the shower and be like, oh man, it kind of hurts,
Yeah.
And then over the course of the next couple hours, find out that you can no longer turn your head and it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I have probably lost months and months of my life to
a
neck issue. That
yeah.
And just recently, remember, just a couple shows ago, I was saying it hurts.
Oh yeah.
That finally stopped. Whatever was wrong with my neck, because it started at my neck and went into my shoulder and down to my elbow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a pinched nerve or something that just jacked me up.
Right.
That finally stopped. And now I'm afraid to sleep on, because that was a sleeping thing.
Oh.
I'm afraid to sleep on this side of my, to roll over on my left side now.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think somewhere, so it had, the timing had to have been on a Sunday when Venus and I were talking about it. Because then she had like almost a sympathetic, her own thing. Like, whatever. I feel like how did we sleep last night? Like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, fuck it. If it was something I did.
It wouldn't hurt your neck, I'll tell you that much.
Well, I already sleep like a fucking spaghetti noodle because of Jax and Shiny.
Right.
So, it would be hard. And that's when I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, I already sleep shitty in like a contortion.
It very well could have been a combo of like, you just had some muscle that wasn't quite right. And maybe
right.
You pinched something, you didn't realize it until like you went to bed, and the next day, like your body's like, hey.
Right. And it could have, like, I turn a lot to the right left anyway. And with the amount of monitors that I have, and then working on the iMac too. So I do a lot of twisting, but I do that every day.
Less shouting though, I assume.
Yeah.
Twist and shout, or just twisting.
Hey, listen, Kip and Bacon. You footloose and fancy free.
Hey, man, the dance must go on.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole week, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, man,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why did you just not tell me?
Yeah.
Because there was no apprehension.
It was telling you.
Like, run this out, dog.
A week. It was complaining for a week.
Were you happy about those brackets? Those are pretty nice brackets. Hey, by the way, I'm going to cripple you all week, bitch.
That's no fun. I just got done with a whole session of that. And that one, I swear, it took like 3 weeks for it to go away. For my neck, shoulder, elbow. That I was worried because I was in a situation where I was driving, and like if I put my arm up on the top of the windowsill, like my shoulder would just light up on fire. And
really?
And then like for the next couple hours, I would be in pain, like real bad pain, to the point where I'd be like, "Fuck, what is happening?"
How bizarre.
And then I was worried, like, did I destroy my rotator cuff, or do I have some like hunk of bone that like is in there
floating
grinding
around
away? I really thought like, shit, I might have to go get this looked at, and like I don't even want to go to the doctor at these rates. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever done chiropractor?
Yes.
What's your impression?
I have a story. I'll give you a story.
Okay, go.
And this is one of the ones. I was going to college, living at home. Got up one morning, didn't quite feel quite right. Took a shower, got ready for school, drove to school. By the time I got to school, like knew something was happening. Like I was starting to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Went and sat in a couple classes, and it was just killing me to sit in class. Like I was in severe pain.
Huh.
By the time I think my second or third class rolled around, it was like, I can't, I gotta go.
Right.
I think I ended up finishing out the class, got in the car, started driving home, and I was in a bad way. And I think at the time I was driving a 5-speed, so everything's got to be moving.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And I hurt so bad that on 3 separate occasions down Madison Avenue to my parents' house, I had to pull off, and I was in tears. That's how bad I hurt.
Wow.
I actually was crying in the car. That's how much pain I was in.
Wow.
And I got home, and my mom's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm in pain." So she is a chiropractor person. So
Okay.
she took me to her chiropractor, and they line me up and like do the neck thing, and you feel all that stuff.
Right.
I got in trouble because I called into work that night. I can't work. I hurt too bad.
Right.
And I got in trouble essentially for calling into work because I couldn't work.
You couldn't work.
It was basically like, oh yeah, right.
Sure.
Yeah, like you can't work. No, man, I fucking hurt, you know?
Right.
And by the next day, I felt really good. I mean, it was still, I was sore.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But like that adjustment made a big difference.
So you're a chiropractor.
I've had good luck, and then I've also had not good luck.
Oh, okay. So I would say then my follow-up would be, when was the last time you've been to a chiropractor?
The last time I was at a chiropractor is since I've been working in Grass Valley. I had what was it? I think it was a neck thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I think it was a back. I had a back issue, which was basically, and I didn't know at the time, but it was essentially where I had muscle spasms. I didn't know. I just knew I hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, I mean, I've tried all this other stuff. I'm going to try going to a chiropractor. So I got some recommendations from somebody at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, go to this guy. He's really good. Went to that guy, got an adjustment. Oh no. And it wasn't I don't think it was the chiropractor's fault. I don't think that he realized that what I was actually dealing with was like a muscle spasm situation.
Oh, okay.
Because he's not going to be able to fix that. That's a muscle problem and not like an alignment issue.
Right.
Or it's an alignment issue based on muscles that are way too tight.
Mm-hmm.
That torched me. I was far worse off afterwards. But I've had good success, and that was one time when I just didn't understand what was going on with my bod, where it just wasn't the right treatment
for what you were experiencing.
Right. Yeah.
The underlying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then being all tweaked like that only exacerbated the actual issue.
Yeah, I was far worse off after the chiropractor
I've
visit.
never been. Venus goes semi-regularly.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck you. She goes semi-regularly.
Yeah.
We don't really talk about it outside. I presume she's getting something out of it because she, enjoys it.
Does she have like pain, or is it like is there something that she's trying to get rid of it while she's going there, or
yes,
or preventative maintenance,
I think it's probably a little bit of both. It's honestly, we don't really like.
You don't know. She just does it.
She's like, I have an appointment for chiropractor. I think it's probably a little bit of
my
like
back wrecked.
Right. She seems to definitely, a
little more spring in her spine.
Yeah, compliment. Communicate more like, oh, my back doesn't feel
okay.
Like, and then she'll go and like. Whereas I'm like, I don't really have back issues.
Yeah.
So if I don't have a reason, to me, I look at it from my perspective, and my health is I would just rather go get a massage kind of a thing. That's how I like it. My back is healthy.
Yeah.
With that, and that's probably a fucking lie.
Well, I mean,
so I don't need
if you don't have an alignment related like pain thing. Then
so I've never had a reason. So for me, it would be like, well, I could go and things are obviously going to like pop, but I don't necessarily have an underlying cause outside of, well, I want to throw $60-$80 at a dude and he's going to, and I'm ASMR and put it on YouTube or some shit.
There definitely seems to be two camps when it comes to chiropractor. Either, hey, they work really well, or quack. That's the two
soft
camps.
Science.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're a doctor.
I think there is something to it, and for the right problem, they are the solution for sure. I think.
Oh yeah.
But my explanation of the thing that I went for that was wrong, I didn't know. I didn't know that it was like what I was having was actually a back spasm thing, that I needed some muscle relaxers essentially, not someone tweaking those muscles even more than what they were already doing, which is not what I realized was happening. I just thought I had like, I don't know, pinched nerve or something.
Yeah.
You know.
She came home, and I think she had told him, or him, her, whoever her chiropractor is, like, I had a stinger kind of thing. And she had said that he told her that before you go to bed, you should like lay on your back, like, and put your arms straight out, like lay on something flat like a bench and let your arms hang straight out, and it will help release your shoulders and your neck. So I did that for the first time like last night. I'm like, fuck it, well, what do I have to lose? We'll just see what happens. Did I sleep any better last night? I don't know, but I'm
so
like,
you were hurting last night.
I really wasn't, but I was like, if I can help speed up the getting back to 100% with my neck, I'm like, well, this doesn't hurt me anything. I have a fucking bench in the office, it felt good to stretch it.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, okay, I'll give this a whirl, whatever.
Well, I mean, what I seem to notice for me personally, there are times where just the old kick your right leg to the left, or, like kick your right leg that way, but twist this way. So you get like everything goes, that seems to help.
I don't know if I've done that one. We do in the house. We'll do the on the back as someone's laying down, or we'll do the arms crossed, and then lean back, and that'll do the poppy.
So I want to know, do dogs have this problem? Do they ever? They're like, fuck. I wish my owner would take me to the dog chiropractor because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do dogs have like, I'm just out of alignment today? I got a little pinched nerve.
Someone
action.
do the sacral coital tug and pull. What? What do you? What? I got.
I don't know. It's just weird to me that I don't know, as humans. Humans are fucking weird.
Crack me, and then give me a dog bone.
Well, if you've never been to a chiropractor, like you'll be lying down and they'll like they like sort of grab you by the base of your head, and then they like do this, and the next thing you know, and they like turn your head. They get you sort of like to like lighten up, and then they go, and then you can feel and hear the like brrr, like down your spinal column or whatever. It is very unnerving, and then what follows with that is a little burning sensation down, and it's fascinating.
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah. I don't know. See, we don't really talk about it.
You got to twitch.
I was slapping because you slapped. I thought you were trying to give me a sign.
That was.
Oh.
I know. I just thought you had a twitch.
Oh, yeah. We're at time.
Oh, okay. I mean, don't sleep funny. You know what I mean? And
your body's going to lie to you.
Don't crick your neck.
Wash your hands.
Definitely wash your ass.
Return the cart.
Check your oil, Tony.
Wear the mask.
Get the shot.
And we will catch you next week.
Do the kindness.
Do the kindness.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.